It's been lovely being here with you, dear. It is with regret I have to go. I'll be thinking of you, don't you fear, dear. With a happy heart that loves you so. Pleasant dreams to you, dear. May they all come true, dear. In your slumber rhapsody, I hope there'll be a place for me. Kiss me sweet, and then, dear, till we meet again, dear. Dream a dream that's meant for two. Good night and pleasant dreams to you.
Larry, it's like no place you've ever been in your whole life. The first thing you gotta remember about Disney World is to pace yourself. Now, this is a mistake that a lot of first-timers make. They've got all these unbelievable rides and cool stuff to do. If you try to do it all at once, you'll be sleeping like a baby by lunchtime. Number 2, don't eat right before you go on Mr. Toad's wild ride. Number 3, Goofy is huge. I know he's only this big on TV, but in real life, Goofy could beat up Dad. Well, I guess that's all the important stuff. You're gonna love this place, Larry. It really brings out the kid in you.
There's never been a better time to make the dream come true.
We'll be leaving in about 3 weeks.
If you ever had a dream and had that dream come true, then you know a little something about the magic of Walt Disney World.
The magic of Walt Disney World, to fly you to the top of your highest dream. The magic of Walt Disney, magic of Walt Disney. Forget all your sorrows, tomorrow's better than it seems. There's something magical about a parade, little kids and pink lemonade. Grown-ups having the best time of their lives. There's magic in other things you can do, and when you're done and you think you are through, you turn around and then there's more than you ever dreamed of. The magic of Disney, magic of Disney, magic of Walt Disney World. The magic of Walt Disney, magic, it's magic.
was 1955, when Walt Disney introduced America to a totally new concept in family entertainment. It was called Disneyland, and it was indescribable. Gone was the crazy quilt chaos of the typical amusement park. Instead, guests found themselves surrounded by a land of three-dimensional fantasy. It was like walking onto a movie set or into a dream.
Well, it came about when my daughters were very young, and Saturday was always Daddy's Day with the two daughters. So we'd start out and try to go someplace with, you know, different things, and I would take them to the merry-go-round, and I took them different places, and as I'd sit there while they rode the merry-go-round, did all these things, sit on a bench, you know, eating peanuts, I felt that there should be something built, some kind of an amusement enterprise built where that the parents and the children could have fun together. So that's how Disneyland started. Well, it took many years. It was a whole period of maybe 15 years developing. I started with many ideas, threw them away, started all over again, and eventually it evolved into what you see today as Disneyland. But it all started from a daddy with two daughters wondering where he could take them, where he could have a little fun with them, too.
But as enchanting and all-encompassing as Disneyland is, in Walt Disney's mind, it inspired an even bigger dream. Already plans were taking shape for an entire family vacation resort. One where guests could not only surround themselves with a magic kingdom, but with acres and acres of vacation fun. After all, if Disneyland's guests could experience the magic of dreams coming true for a few hours, why not for a few days, or a week, or longer?
Here in Florida, we have something special we never enjoyed at Disneyland, the blessing of size. There's enough land here to hold all the ideas and plans we could possibly imagine.
Land, 43 square miles of land, a vacation kingdom in the heart of Florida that's become the single most popular resort destination in the world, Walt Disney World. The crowning jewel of Walt Disney World is the Magic Kingdom, where the magic of dreams coming true begins. Perhaps you've dreamed of returning to an earlier time, a time of homespun values and simple living. That dream takes shape and surrounds you here on Main Street, USA. What was America like at the turn of the century? Perhaps very much like this recreation of everyone's hometown. The sights and sounds of fond nostalgia are everywhere. There's a friendly greeting at the old City Hall, the measured pace of a horse-drawn trolley, and the hiss of live steam as a vintage locomotive pulls into Main Street Station. Even the shenanigans of a band of musical firemen. As you make your way down Main Street, it all comes back. There's the old-time cinema, where adventure was a box of popcorn and a Saturday matinee. The penny arcade, where a pocket full of change bought hours of fun. And the old ice cream parlor, where double-dip cones meant the ultimate in old-time air conditioning. On our Main Street, the stage is set in front of Cinderella Castle, a focus for the wonder that is the Magic Kingdom. Cinderella Castle is a fairy tale made real. Inside, the Cinderella story is told through over 10,000 individual tiles, their colors flecked with real gold. The scenes speak of romance, magic, and beautiful dreams all come true. And it all makes a fitting portal to the dreams found in Fantasyland. Here's a land where horses prance majestically on a whirling golden carousel, where teacups spin in madcap fashion. The Nautilus becomes your vessel and Captain Nemo your host as you embark on a perilous voyage 20,000 leagues under the sea. And you'll think you'll have seen everything when you see Dumbo the elephant fly. In Fantasyland, anything can happen, and happiness is the universal language. Because if you could gather the children of all nations and give them each a message to share, you'd soon realize it's a small world after all. Dreams of the future have tantalized the imagination of poet and scientist alike. And here in Tomorrowland, visitors can catch a glimpse of what the future holds. You might well imagine yourself in the spaceport of some futuristic metropolis, surrounded by examples of the lifestyle of tomorrow. The Wedway People Mover, for instance. It's more than just a novel way to see all of Tomorrowland. It's an innovation in electromagnetic energy-saving transportation. Of course, in this future era, boarding a spacecraft will be as routine as hailing a taxi cab. And here in Tomorrowland's Space Mountain, visitors come as close as possible to experiencing the thrill of a real race through space. If you'd rather do your racing through straightaways and hairpin curves, Tomorrowland can make that dream come true too. The world of dreams can take many forms. Some project us into mysterious and exotic locales, far away from the everyday. These are the dreams that become real in Adventureland. You wander past the bazaars and small cafes and make your way down to the boat landing. What lies ahead is anyone's guess. Close brush with disaster, skillfully avoided on the Jungle Cruise. From the perils of the jungle to this faraway port of call, Caribbean Plaza is the setting for some of the world's most exotic tropical treasures. Someone mentioned treasure? Beware, the pirates of the Caribbean. These are the rowdiest rogues ever to sail the high seas, plundering and pillaging as though it were some grand sport. No wonder they sail under the Jolly Roger. The year is 1850, as a proud sternwheeler makes its way up the rivers of America. This is Frontierland, where the spirit of the American pioneers still prevails. Here on the frontier, people worked hard, but they played hard too. Frontier had its own special brand of adventure. Like riding a runaway mine car through the twisting, turning canyons and chasms of the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Of course, Frontierland doesn't represent everything exactly as it was in the old American West. Look what happens when you take a bunch of down-home country bears and touch them with magic. In almost every colonial town, there was one old house, scarcely noticed by day, but carefully avoided by night. It was always ramshackled, seemingly abandoned, and thoroughly rumored to be a haunted mansion. Liberty Square's haunted mansion is just as foreboding. A peculiar chill shivers through you. The hairs on your neck stand straight up, and you feel someone is watching as you hasten past the family plot. The massive oaken door creaks open, and your host urges you to step lively. Others are just dying to get in. As we leave the ghost host of the haunted mansion, Liberty Square presents a more serious side of our heritage. Perhaps the greatest dream to ever fire the imagination was the dream of a new nation, founded in freedom. The birthplace of this dream is recreated in Liberty Square. Here is a vision of colonial life as seen by Paul Revere, Patrick Henry, or Benjamin Franklin. And here, patriots have assembled to reaffirm their faith in liberty and justice for all. And lest these words lose their meaning, lest we forget, these men have gathered the presidents of the United States to remind us of the ageless meaning of the word freedom.
As a nation of free men, we must live through all time or die by suicide. Surely God would not have created such a being as man with ability to grasp the infinite, to exist only for a day. No. No. Man was made for immortality.
The Magic Kingdom is history, prophecy, adventure, fantasy, and nostalgia. But it's still only part of the dream called Walt Disney World. Though it takes at least 2 full days to see all of the Magic Kingdom, the park itself is only a small part of the 43-square-mile Walt Disney World Resort Complex. Surrounding the Magic Kingdom, there's a whole vacation kingdom filled with fun things to do. But that doesn't mean you have to drive to where the action is. Just leave the car, grab the kids, and go. Because once you're here, just getting around is half the fun. A complete and unique internal transportation system makes it easy to sail, ride, soar, roar, and relax through the whole vacation kingdom. romantic and exciting resort accommodations let visitors enjoy it all in style and add to the total Walt Disney World experience. Guests can stay in the mainstream of tomorrow in the beautiful contemporary resort hotel. Here, the Walt Disney World monorail glides right through the lobby for express service to the Magic Kingdom and other ports of call. Contemporary vacationers enjoy a wide variety of shops, restaurants, and cozy lounges, as well as a breathtaking view of the Vacation Kingdom. Another stop along the monorail circuit is the Polynesian Village Resort Hotel, a vacation dream in its own right, with all the charm and romance of a remote South Seas hideaway. The Great Ceremonial House is the setting for some of the Vacation Kingdom's most exotic scenery, with sun, water, and greenery surrounding the guest longhouses. Some people prefer a more casual home away from home. Perhaps a secluded villa flanked by whispering pines, or a lakeshore townhouse, or even your very own treetop hideaway. Walt Disney World guests have a wide choice of villa accommodations, each designed to make vacation dreams come true. And for those who bring their beds with them, there's the rustic charm of Fort Wilderness Campground Resort. Over 800 campsites are scattered throughout 600 acres of Disney wilderness. You can dream you're 1,000,000 miles from civilization and 100 years in the past. But all the comforts of home are right next door to make roughing it easy, Walt Disney World style. A lot of the fun of Fort Wilderness is found right here in River Country. It's a newfangled version of the old swimming hole. And Huck Finn never had it so good. A good portion of the 43-square-mile Vacation Kingdom has been devoted to golf, with not one, but 3 challenging 18-hole golf courses. Flanking the Walt Disney World Golf Resort Hotel, the Palm Course is rated as one of the 100 best tests of golf in America. And speaking of the 100 best, top players on the PGA Tour gather on the 3 courses each year for the Walt Disney World National Team Championship Golf Classic. But golf is just one type of Walt Disney World Sports Challenge. We've got sports for all sorts. Some vacationers' idea of recreation means relaxation, pure and simple. Taking in the quiet moments and admiring nature at her best. There is such a corner of the world. Actually, it's an island in the middle of Bay Lake, transformed into a beautiful zoological garden. Discovery Island is a recreation of a tropical rainforest. One such resident is the beautiful scarlet ibis, whose numbers are actually increasing here in one of the world's largest walk-through aviaries. Another species in the family way is the beautiful American flamingo. Here, Discovery Island personnel have reconstructed a tidal pool, similar to that which the flamingo inhabits in the wild. Even the ebb and flow of the tides is duplicated by pumping water in and out of the lagoon, an important prerequisite for making the flamingo feel at home. These characters and several other bird, mammal, and reptile species thrive and prosper on Discovery Island, and they're happy to share their island home with other Walt Disney World guests. Recreation takes many forms, even window shopping. And Walt Disney World Village is just the place, with over 30 shops and restaurants. Ever dine on board a Mississippi riverboat? Well, at the Village, you can. The Empress Lily Riverboat Restaurant is a recreation of a 19th century steam-driven riverboat. Your dreams go back to the days when finery was the fashion, and mealtime an experience to be savored and remembered. But dinner on board the Empress Lily is just one dining experience unique to Walt Disney World. For those who enjoy special entertainment with their meal, may we suggest a top-flight dinner show. Something down home. Or something a little more exotic. But the night holds other wonders as well. For each summer evening and during special holiday events, the incomparable Main Street Electrical Parade forms a dazzling procession of over 500,000 lights right down Main Street, USA. When dreams come true, it's magic. It's evident here in the smiles, the laughter, the happy faces, the feeling that this is the way the world should be. It's that sense of being young again, no matter what your age. A reminder of a time when anything was possible, and still is. But more than anything else, the magic of Walt Disney World means having the chance to dream again. It's living proof of what can happen when you reach for the stars to make those dreams come true.
Your dreams come true.
You're watching Sleepcore. Pleasant dreams.
Nickflix, movies just for you. This week, what do you think of when you see this? When you hear this?
We're all a little loony.
You've seen them on Nick, but never like this.
Hey, pal, this is our story.
Ooh, Tiny Toons! It's their full-length feature. Steven Spielberg presents Tiny Toon Adventures, How I Spent My Vacation. So grab some popcorn, grab a seat, and watch Nickflix. Tomorrow at 5, 4 Central, only on Nick.
Discover Six Flags Over Texas as a whole new season of magic takes to the sky. For more information, call 817-530-6000.
My mom. I miss my dog. I sure don't miss my sister. You know what I miss? What? McDonald's French fries.
You deserve a break today.
French fries.
Nobody makes your day like McDonald's can.
Action!
Thank you. Hey!
Cut! You have not seen anything yet. Stand by.
It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating.
This Universal Studios Florida is really extraordinary.
I thought it was exciting. I thought it was fun.
I've been with Universal since 1927, and to see something like this grow out of a little studio like I saw when I first went there, it's just fabulous.
The year 1990 was truly a milestone for Universal. The great Hollywood studio celebrated its 75th anniversary. And 21 years after its conception by Jay Stein, chairman of the board of the MCA Recreation Services Group, Universal Studios opened its gates here in Orlando. On June 7th, motion picture history was made. Internationally known stars and the most famous people in the film industry arrived to dedicate the movie and television capital of the East. Conducting the ribbon-cutting ceremony were Jay Stein and Steven Spielberg.
The greatest talents in film and television production have collaborated with the finest designers and technical specialists from the world over so that fans can share in the excitement and drama of the movies.
I hope this cuts. This is a lot thicker than what we rehearsed with.
As we walk along the streets, surrounded by full-scale recreations of scenes from the most famous movies ever made, you know that you're in the most lavish, exciting production ever conceived. The realism of the surroundings intensifies the thrill of each experience when you ride the movies and live the most unforgettable scenes from blockbuster hits. You will see, hear, and feel the fun and adventure of going behind the scenes, being on camera and in moviedom. And now we'll see you in the movies. As a leading producer and distributor, Universal has made cinematic history for 75 years. But only here will you experience Hollywood as you have never dreamed it before. E.T., King Kong, Earthquake, Jaws, Back to the Future. They began as movies. Well, now they are part of the fun, thrill, and adventure of the motion picture magic at Universal Studios, Florida. I'm John Forsythe. Let's take a closer look. Beginning in 1934, Alfred Hitchcock had a 43-year association with Universal. A master of suspense, he created a mood of underlying tension by placing ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances. Surrounded by an increasingly hostile environment amid a brooding atmosphere and experiencing jolting moments of terror, they are confronted with forces bent on destroying them. They may discover that these forces are within themselves, seeds of evil ready to sprout. In the art of making movies, you will learn the camera techniques that have made Alfred Hitchcock an idol, even to the greatest filmmakers of his time. Check into the Bates Motel on the Psycho soundstage for a rest and a shower, and to lift the curtain on the most horrifying moments ever filmed. The graphic reenactment you will see is a close confrontation with the genius of Hitchcock. In the movie, 78 camera angles edited in rapid sequence were used to portray the attack in the shower. The camera became the slasher. The knife never pierced the flesh. Hitchcock chose to film Psycho in black and white to reduce the violence in this scene. The dizzying heights of the Statue of Liberty's torch is the setting for a terrifying scene from Saboteur, where you will learn that, like Hitchcock's style, nothing is what it seems to be. And on the speeding carousel from Strangers on a Train, you will reenact a murder. Cameos to Television reveals the basis for Hitchcock's highly successful television series. And on the set of Rear Window, the unexpected and bizarre is encountered while watching the windows across the courtyard. There is so much going on, someone may get away with murder. And now the art of making movies.
Hitch loved to have his camera constantly in motion, moving mysteriously past objects and people. He might start high in the air and then sweep down slowly to something totally unexpected. Hello, this is Jimmy Stewart. In 1954, I made my second film with Alfred Hitchcock, co-starring Grace Kelly in Rear Window. Now, you're playing my role. Now take a look. There should be something interesting in all those windows. Everyday life as Hitch saw it. Of course, you might see something a little bit unusual, like maybe a murderer. He's doing some things that seem pretty suspicious. See if you can spot him. All right, time's up. Did you spot the murder? Because if you didn't, he just might have spotted you.
Hitch made a cameo appearance, one way or the other, in every film he made for 50 years. An extra body was needed. No extra body was in sight, so the director filled the space. It was his first cameo. He put one in virtually every film he made. And then the cameos grew from being a superstition to becoming a delicious private joke between the director and the audience. They wondered how Hitch would do it every time. When he announced he was making Lifeboat, everybody wondered how Hitch could possibly make his cameo appearance there.
Listen here about some people that were adrift on a lifeboat for 80 days.
His last appearance was in Family Plot, a shadow on a window. And then he's gone. Gone except for the screen. He left us his movies and himself 5 seconds at a time.
Suspense quickens our pulses, but the sound of laughter sustains and nurtures us. The comedy teams of Laurel and Hardy and the Marx Brothers cheered us through the Depression years and took our minds off World War II. Vicariously with W.C. Fields and Mae West, the meekest and the mildest among us thumbed our noses at society. Marilyn Monroe invited us to succumb to a heroine's charms. Charlie Chaplin probed the depths of our compassion. Wow! Well, you never know who you're going to meet here. As I was saying, Charlie Chaplin probed the depths of our compassion, and then turning calamity into comedy, convulsed us with laughter at his antics. Outrageous, witty, or joyful, the force of the comedy star's screen personalities added immeasurable richness to the films they have graced. Years after they have departed the scene, great performers continue to brighten our lives with their images. Luckily, some of the stars are still here on the streets of Universal Studios, Florida, to exercise their franchise on humor.
Well, step right over here.
Hey, do you have any bugs?
And when we dance, he's so light on my feet, too.
All right, now, give me a kiss. Maybe not.
We're here in America, finally here in America. Good fortune must have smiled on me. We're reaching out for liberty. It's waving there, red, white, and blue. It's here for me and you. We're here in America, finally here in America. Good fortune must have smiled on me. We're reaching out for liberty. It's waving there, red, white, and blue. It's here for me and you. Here in America, finally here in America.
This is Hollywood's Walk of Fame. The names of television and motion picture luminaries are immortalized on these stars. There's Kirk Douglas, Linda Evans, John Forsythe. Well, if a roving talent scout discovers you and Schwab's here, you'll get a screen test and your chance to be a star. It is perhaps the animal actors which elicit the most warm-hearted response of all. We are irresistibly drawn to the animal actors stage by the magnetism of the screen's most lovable stars. The cast of over 50 performers is the largest assembly of working motion picture and television animal actors in the world. This actor is also known as the kissing canine. Lassie made her first appearance in the 1943 movie Lassie Come Home. The endearing collie immediately found a permanent home in the hearts of millions. The hit film was the first of 8 and inspired a long-running TV series. Jenny has been working on impersonations. Her first one is Don King. Let's see those lips. Mick Jagger.
Jenny, there's people watching. There's little kids sitting right over there.
Who is purple, green, and a messenger of imagination and love to kids around the world? The answer is about to arrive right here at Universal Studios, Florida. So kids of all ages can enjoy a day in the park with Barney. But don't tell the kids, because when they discover that Barney's at Universal Studios, Florida, well, they, see for yourself. Meet Mr. Peekaboo and Bartholomew the Parrot. Once inside, the star of the show, the dinosaur from our imagination, makes his magical appearance. And shows the audience why he's a dinosaur sensation.
Anything is possible if you just use your imagination. Imagination's fun for you and me. Imagination's fun for you and me. Ooh, cool, cool kitty. Tell us about the boy from New York City. Ooh.
Till the morning come on.
Daylight's cold and we want no.
Come, Mr. Drummerman, make me a rhythm.
Daylight's cold and we want no.
Shake, 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 shake,
Heroes and heroines were the idols of our days. Villains and monsters haunted our nights. The terrors that lurk outside the circle of firelight or in the hidden places where darkness is the deepest. These are the elements of our most enduring type of storytelling and entertainment. Universal gained the reputation as Hollywood's home of horror in the 20s and early 30s. Bela Lugosi, Dracula, Boris Karloff, Frankenstein. These names have become a permanent part of our collective nightmares.
You have entered my theater, and you are now my guests. You shall learn secrets of makeup and effects, which I have chosen to allow. No more, no less. These secrets of the craft are for you and for no others.
The terrifyingly realistic horror effects are created with more than bones, limbs, stage blood, and an assortment of gory ingredients. A mechanical understructure, a latex mask, and a talent in makeup magic can bring the most ghoulish monster to life on the silver screen.
Forget what I said, just get her out of here.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, this is what 50 years at the bottom of a lake will do for you.
Moves so fast, you know, and it's got good comedy in it, and it's entertaining. I think the people like it very much.
Their timing, it just never stopped. And you keep thinking, well, that's the end of it, and then they come in with something even bigger.
Someone who's never seen the show, woof, they've missed something if they don't come to this show.
At last, a little bit of peace and quiet. Felix! Huh?
We love to be frightened. Nowhere else but at the movies could we live our fantasies of heroically facing the unknown and victoriously overcoming the challenges. Adventure movies are rooted in fantasy, yet firmly moored to earth. The drama of the serials, those vanished open-ended cliffhangers, prove to us every week that good could triumph over evil. The Lagoon live-action stunt spectacular here at Universal Studios, Florida, demonstrates daily that heroism is not dead. The good guys still win. And the pyrotechnics are in living color. Speeding boats, death-defying stunts, and thundering explosives make this all-new Dynamite Night Stuntacular an amazing extravaganza. Jet skis careen wildly into the air. Stunt boats tear across Universal's 8-acre lagoon, bolting toward each other, narrowly escaping collision. Stunts typically created for one-time only execution on movie sets are performed night after night in this dynamic production at Universal Studios, Florida. Universal's Dynamite Night Stuntacular culminates with an open-throttle 60-foot jump through a 3-story high, 2,000-degree wall of flames. A stunt so electrifying, even park guests can feel the heat.
Sleepcore will return after these messages.
Everyone loves a holiday, watching the whales while they swim and play. They jump in the air, splashing waves in your hair. Everyone loves Marineland. Niagara Falls, Ontario is always a fun place to go. Seeing friends you miss, a great big kiss. Everyone loves Marineland.
If you had a garden, yeah, a garden, what would you grow? 2 gardens full of the biggest bloomin' thrill rides and the wildest adventures in the world. Busch Gardens Williamsburg and Busch Gardens Tampa Bay. Adventure lives here.
It knows your terror. Freeze on it. That's what it does. It's too big, too fast to escape. I warn you, it's out there now, stalking. It'll rip right through you, throw you high. It won't let up. It'll track you down, all right.
New York's largest wooden coaster is the Predator.
It'll track you down.
New at Darien Lake.
You're watching Sleepcore, media for insomnia.
The protagonist we face in an adventure may not be human. It may be an element of nature, or a huge and terrifying creature whose origins are a product of nature gone awry. A horrifying piece of prehistory clashing with modern normalcy. The Beauty and the Beast story of King Kong terrified audiences in 1933 and again in the 1976 remake. But the nerve-snapping tension created by the sight of the giant ape breaking loose to devastate a city has been far surpassed. Confrontation is a colossal experience in terror. We are aboard the Roosevelt Island tramway in New York when suddenly we see the wake of his carnage. It is destruction on a catastrophic scale. Our tram will not stop. It can only go forward. Smoke fills the air as fires from the devastation create a blazing inferno. And then there he is, the terrifying giant ape. Our tram dangles before the howling fury. We are face to face with him as he threatens to send us careening down the road. There's no turning back. Nothing can match the spectacle of nature in full fury, and no other medium of the arts can capture it the way a movie can. With the aid of special effects, a volcano buries a city in ashes, fire consumes a high-rise building, or a hurricane submerges an island. Earthquake was awarded an Oscar for special effects, and here you will experience the power of the most shattering natural disaster on Earth as the 8.3 earthquake strikes Orlando, Of course, it could only happen here, within a great sound stage. But then, Universal Studios Florida is adventure.
Pretty spectacular, wasn't it? But none of what you just saw actually happened. It was all done by the special effects people. Those guys are incredible. They can destroy Hollywood without even leaving the studio. As you can see, getting a miniature city ready for the camera takes a team of experts. First, the art director and set designers plan each shot with original drawings. Then model makers create everything, from trash bins to whole buildings. Scenic artists construct the background from a giant painting in sculpted styrofoam mountains. The entire model city fills a space the size of a large parking lot. Cameras are everywhere. The secret to making this look real on screen is what's called high-speed photography. Cameras that shoot film 10 times faster than it's projected. Watch the parking garage on the right. That's what it looked like in real life. But this is what the high-speed camera lets us see.
That was great, wasn't it?
We have boarded our subway train in Oakland. It carries us into a tunnel and under the bay to the Embarcadero in San Francisco.
Arriving at the Embarcadero. Depart here for Ghirardelli Square, Fisherman's Wharf, Ferry Building, and the Financial District. Embarcadero, next stop.
A tremor shakes the train. We freeze in terror. And then it begins.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in your seats. We seem to be experiencing a slight earth tremor. It's nothing to be concerned about. However, to ensure that all passengers are allowed to leave the train safely,
I'll see you in the movies.
Legendary filmmakers have always found a home at Universal, from Irving Thalberg to Steven Spielberg. After serving an apprenticeship working in television, 20-year-old Steven Spielberg joined Universal in 1968. Jaws, the suspenseful action movie about a shark bent on mayhem, was his second feature film. It was the biggest box office success in history, until it was overtaken by a number of his other creations. As we stroll through the streets of Amity, this little New England village seems like any seaside resort in summer. Young men thronging around the shooting gallery, people basking in the sun, crowds taking photographs of a great white shark. A great white shark. But this is a movie set, and this is where Jaws turns an elemental fear of the water into screaming terror. But today the sea is calm. It's a good day for a boat ride.
What
Universal became a true pioneering organization under Carl Laemmle's presidency during the years of 1912 to 1936. He established the star system. Rudolph Valentino received his first screen billing at Universal. Mary Pickford, Wallace Beery, Sarah Bernhardt, Walt Disney, and a number of other famous names either worked for Carl Laemmle or served an apprenticeship with Universal. In 1912, he selected the site of a former chicken ranch 3 miles from Hollywood for his filmmaking operations. Universal City, the first municipality devoted to the making of motion pictures, was opened in 1915. Then, in another unprecedented move, he invited the public in to see how movies are made. The back lot is an outdoor area where sets representing distant locations are built. It's so named because it was usually a huge tract of land behind the main offices and sound stages. New York, San Francisco, Hollywood, or a New England village. Universal Studios Florida has more than 40 set streets where on any day, explosive action may take place while the cameras roll. It's Murder, She Wrote, and it's post-production time. The most challenging drama of all takes place after the cameras stop rolling. Editing, sound, recording, dubbing, special effects, mixing, they're just some of the elements that finalize each episode of Angela Lansbury's hit series. They're waiting for us on the set. But when we go into the heart of how motion picture history is made, you, the visitor, will be the star. It's great entertainment because Universal Studios Florida is lights, camera, action.
You know, I am so delighted that you've agreed to help out and become our executive producer. I just hope that they've told you exactly what you're getting into.
Asterix the murderer. Arrest him, deputy.
The murderer forgot one thing, deputy, to clean the flour from the mill off his shoes.
No, the director forgot one thing. We need a shot of shoes to show the flour from the mill. We're surprised we don't have that shot. So, now, I'm going to show you a little bit of high-tech magic right back here. Thanks. All right. This is what we call a paint box. It's a computer graphic system. It paints on electronically, which means I can alter the image of these shoes. Now I'm going to paint on the flour electronically. Okay, put the new version back into the show.
The murderer forgot one thing, deputy, to clean the flour from the mill off his shoes, Mr. Tyler.
Yeah! Now, most people think that the sounds they hear in a film are recorded live. That's just curious. Because you see, most sound effects are actually created. Okay. Let's hear what that sounds like. wonderful. Take your seats, give them a big round of applause.
I'm going to run the video sequence, and you'll see it here on the monitor. And you'll hear 3 distinct beeps. Printing will appear. You'll speak the printing into the microphones in turn, your first, your second. And relax. A 9-year-old could do it. Simple. Don't worry about a thing, okay?
A softball? Not exactly.
Okay, the black pearl.
The black pearl?
Good. That was good.
Is it?
All right. Yes, thank you. So, do you think you want to be executive producers again?
Nickelodeon is the world's leading television network for children. 2 sound stages are the site of live-action programming. While sharing in the excitement of taking part in programming designed just for them, children have a close-up look at how television is produced. Movies were our childhood, and that childhood has persisted. There is in each of us the desire to preserve a fragment of lost innocence, to enjoy the discovery and wonder that we knew as children. Fantasy is childhood's realm. It is a legacy to the adult that he or she will become. Its border is limited only by the imagination of its creator. No other type of movie has witnessed a greater advance in production techniques. The possibilities of the unknown stimulates the filmmaker's imagination. Special effects is the wizard's wand that dissolves the thin line between imagination and reality.
Since their release, the Terminator films have dazzled audiences worldwide. Directed by award-winning action film director James Cameron, these mega hits have created new standards for special effects in action-adventure movies. The third installment of this non-stop action-adventure takes place at Universal Studios, Florida, where a team of experts has created an unprecedented, state-of-the-art interactive entertainment experience. These special effects wizards have combined three-dimensional cinematography, the most advanced computer-generated images, one-of-a-kind robotics, and live-action stunt work to catapult the audience into the center of the 3D action.
Imagine a world where butterflies run on batteries.
The year is 2029, the place, Los Angeles, and Cyberdyne Systems, an international leader in advanced robotic systems for medicine, industry, consumer products, and defense technology, is attempting to completely dominate the information superhighway. Their newest venture is Skynet. Our adventure begins inside one of the world's most advanced theaters.
Today, it gives us great pleasure to introduce the ultimate application of our robotics technology, the Terminators. Security, get in here! The clock is the theater.
I tried to warn you. Skynet means the end of everything, don't you understand? And we are putting a stop to Skynet right now, while we still can. Take cover, John.
I said I'd be back. Come with me if you want to live.
Go with them. He's getting up!
Let's keep moving. Get down. Hey, Buckethead.
Can you imagine what the next 100 years of movie making will be like?
Best show at Universal.
Move it! One side! Take this! The technique of giving the illusion of motion to drawings by photographing them in successive positions began in 1906. During a 50-year-long association, Bill Hanna and Joe Barbera have won 7 Oscars and 8 Emmys. Achievement and innovation unparalleled in animation history make the cartoons come alive in the fantastic world of Hanna-Barbera.
He's heading for Coconut Island.
Big old rubber band, boo-boo buddy. Okay, folks, hold on tight.
Rat! Do-gooders on our tail!
Yogi, keep your eyes on the road.
Surprise! You'll never catch Dustin Hoops! Rat Motley, pull up! No! This is all your fault! After you have come down to Earth again, the excitement continues in the fun-filled, interactive area where you'll meet the animated cartoon characters. Become a Stone Age rock star. Create your own cartoons in a wonderland of do-it-yourself animation. And experience a world of fantasy that comes alive for kids of all ages. In 1902, the 16-minute film, A Trip to the Moon, was one of filmdom's earliest sensations, although its moon dwellers were created with cardboard. The perennial wonder of the universe, of worlds and civilizations beyond our own, was evoked in the enchanting E.T., the extraterrestrial. It's among the 7 Universal movies on the list of the 30 most commercially successful movies of all time. But only here has it become a magical, 3-dimensional adventure. Our adventure begins near the end of the movie. E.T.'s home, the Green Planet, is dying. We are the only ones who can take him home so that his magic can restore it. We must escape the scientists and government agents, and on our bikes, carry E.T. across the moon and beyond the stars. During the ride, we will meet for the first time the fantastic cast of characters on the Green Planet. And now a personal close encounter with E.T. in his own wondrous world.
Find the one you call E.T. Playing the Earth's life force is fading. Bring E.T. home.
We've got some unauthorized people entering the base. Wait, they got E.T. They're getting away. Unit 3, cut them off.
Go! Hurry, get him!
Fly home.
E.T. Go to Tickle. Hurry!
Movies have taken us from the arena of the supernatural to the limitless ocean of outer space. Even earthbound exploration makes a quantum leap in time in the 1990 release Back to the Future.
Hello, anybody home? Huh? What are you looking at, butthead? Wait a second. This sucker's Doc Brown conned into his time travel experiment.
Now that you're here, time travel volunteers, I can give you your pre-flight briefing. There's a lot you'll need to know if you're to successfully cross the space-time continuum. We'll have to hurry, though. With Biff still on the loose, anything could happen. Biff!
Hasta la bye-bye!
My time travel volunteers, you and you and you, you're my only hope. The 8-passenger DeLorean is just beyond that door where you're standing. I can pilot by remote control from here, but I'm gonna need you to help me navigate. You've got to catch Biff. The fate of the entire universe rests in your hands.
Doc, all pre-launch system checks are complete.
That's our
We will board Doc Brown's Wonder Car and enter a new dimension for the most awesome ride of our lives. Hold tight as our time-traveling thrills and excitement begin. 7-story high Omnimax surround screens and Cinemagic special effects put us in the very heart of the action. Space-age flight simulators hurl us headlong on a breathtaking odyssey across the eons into the dawn of time.
Between the two vehicles should send us straight back to the Institute.
Throughout the century of cinema, The world has yearned for stories to be told by the means of moving images. In 1915, Carl Laemmle promised to make the world laugh or cry or sit on the edge of their chairs. So it has been and will continue to be.
First, we watched the movies. Now at Universal Studios, Florida, the illusion has become reality. As we go into the future with increasing ingenuity of technological effects, no limit can be placed on the possibilities of tomorrow. For this is Universal Studios, Florida. This is fantasy and magic.
And now, let's go and ride the movies.
You're watching Sleepcore. Sleep tight.
Have a ball this fall at Adventureland.
Come on over to Adventureland. You're gonna have a fun-filled day.
And there's just a few weekends left at Adventureland. Don't miss out. Make sure Adventureland 85 is part of your fall fun. Enjoy over 100 rides, shows, and attractions, including the new A-Train and thrilling galleon.
There's always something new at Adventureland.
Open this Saturday and Sunday, and weekends in September.
Hi. Now's the time to plan a great summer of fun for your child at Young People's Day Camp. Let me show you how Young People's Day Camp makes fun happen. At Young People's Day Camp, your child is picked up and brought home by Camp Bus. In between, the days are filled with fun activities. There's boat rides, all summer sports, long swims in the pool, arts and crafts, weekly field trips, and so much more. All under the care, supervision, and instruction of state licensed teachers and administrators. There are 2 to 8 week programs available, and for the 16th anniversary year, tuition is just $110 a week for an 8-week program. Camp shirts, tote bags, trophies, awards, and banners are all provided free. Act now to reserve a place for your child. For the camp nearest you, call in the 5 boroughs, 718-447-8010. New Jersey, 521-3600. Long Island, 731-1000. Westchester, Rockland, 664-8200. And for our new teen tours, 718-338-TEEN.
Welcome indeed, as we remember a world of excitement, a world of entertainment and understanding. This is SeaWorld, where imagination and the ocean's wonders create an unforgettable day. Here is a special place, the chance to discover, The opportunity to make new friends. From the moment you enter SeaWorld, there's so much to experience and remember. For the next few minutes, let's recall your extraordinary day at SeaWorld. We'll relive the highlights and even encounter some surprises along the way. And of course, everyone's most vivid impressions really begin with the spectacular animal shows. A new multi-species show, aptly named New Friends. And of course, Shamu's celebration. Hard work and great care go into our shows, and we're happy to do it for just one reason: to introduce you to marine animals in a way you'll never forget.
Especially glad to be here today because we're celebrating Shamu. And a celebration is a time to look back where you once were, to see how far you've come to the present, and to look ahead to the future. So that's why we'd like to invite you to join us in our Shamu celebration.
Celebrate, having a Shamu celebration. It's sensational, 'cause he's here for you, and he's great, it's true. It's inspirational.
Come on, step right up to the edge of the platform. Go ahead and stand up straight. Put your hands behind your back. You're going to bend halfway over and look at that camera to your left. Wow!
Clap along, we're singing the worldwide declaration. Celebration, celebrate, it's true. Celebrate, it's Shamu. Celebrate.
Here are some friends you may remember meeting in the safety of SeaWorld's shark encounter. A plexiglass tunnel transports us into the shark's underwater realm, letting us join them in a way we never believed possible. Right now, let's take a special look behind the scenes and join our aquarists during the shark's feeding time. The animal technologists at SeaWorld have a wide variety of duties, because there are so many varieties of animals to care for. Their work may not always be seen by the public, but their rewards are obvious. One of the happiest rewards comes from these baby sea turtles. These endangered reptiles are raised at SeaWorld until they're large enough to care for themselves. And then they're returned to the sea, helping to ensure the sea turtle's survival. Just below the surface of Florida's shallow offshore waters lives one of the lesser-known marine mammals, the manatee. This slow-moving, bulky creature is the probable source for one of the most enchanting of seafaring legends, the mermaid. Although it can hardly be described as beautiful, the manatee is a peaceful, gentle animal. But its encounters with man aren't always so gentle. All too frequently, man and manatee have collided, literally. The evidence of these collisions are often the slashing scars left by the propellers of boats that raked across the animals' backs. SeaWorld has come to help the manatee. A rehabilitation program has been set up to care for them, whether they're injured, ill, or orphaned. E.T. the manatee was a young female that was rescued by SeaWorld when she was discovered foundering in shallow waters. She'd been caught in a crab pot line that had wrapped around her left flipper. E.T. was brought to SeaWorld, the line removed, and her wounds treated. Soon she was being hand-fed and rapidly gained weight. Three months after E.T. came to SeaWorld, her rehabilitation was complete and her homeward journey began. With a large crowd of well-wishers in attendance, E.T. was placed in the water and returned back to her home. Although it remains on the endangered species list, in Florida, the future for the gentle manatee is bright. The health and care of all the animals that come to SeaWorld is always our greatest concern. It requires time and patience, but the results speak for themselves.
Let's join together. Let's be friends. Let's play together. We'll be friends forever. I'm from the land. You're from the sea. We're from different worlds. You and me will touch each other. We'll be friends. We'll teach each other. We'll make friends by reaching out to discover. Day after day, we are friends in a very special way.
A new frontier, we've opened up the way.
Some of the more unusual friends at SeaWorld include the flashy Opie otter and the blustery Sir Winston walrus. They're both part of a remarkable show called Undersea Fantasy.
Here below. Come on, let's go to the new frontier.
Undersea Fantasy is a happy combination of entertainment and education. We enjoy and learn about life under the sea in a spectacular musical experience.
Swim, do the swim. Some use a flipper, some use a fin. It all depends on the shape you're in. Come on, swim.
Come on, swim.
Do the underwater swim.
Do the swim.
It don't matter how you go, if you're fast, slow, just swim.
Do the swim. Coral,
We're happy we could make it.
it's the coral.
Be careful not to break it.
It's the place to be at the bottom of the sea. We love our coral reef.
Probably the biggest highlight of a SeaWorld day is Shamu, the killer whale. How do the whales and trainers work so well together? A show behavior may look like one continuous action, but it's actually made up of many small steps, one following another.
Whale trainer Ted Turner and Shamu!
To find out how it's done, we're going to stay after the audience leaves and join a killer whale training session. Many show behaviors are inspired by the animals themselves. This one, called the rocket ride, began when the traders noticed that the whales seemed to enjoy pushing them through the water.
What we'll do first is we'll take one with her just pushing you into the corner. All right. So we'll take an approximation there, then we'll start over again and have you make the corner and see if she'll push you down. If it looks like you're getting a good push down, because the water's so dang clear, I can see. Yeah, I'll bridge. You'll bridge? Okay. Yeah. We'll bridge that, and then so if she quits, you'll know what happened. Okay, and I'll just swim up? Yeah, just swim up, and then we'll start over again. Then we'll see if we can go for the one where you fly out of the water.
The behavior evolves through a series of small steps called approximations. The first step is simply to push the trainer, Ted Turner, to the corner of the pool.
The easy part here. She likes pushing anyway.
At the corner, a small whistle is blown, called a bridge.
Good.
That tells the animal, yes, you've done it correctly.
She's gonna take me around the corner, all right? She stayed right on.
Okay, well,
about halfway around.
Yeah, the thing is when she gets you to the bottom, when you turn, she's gonna allow you to stay on, follow you, or if she's just gonna swim off.
Okay, here we go.
The next step takes the behavior beyond the corner. Ted dives underwater, then comes back to see if the whale stays with him.
Yeah, let's watch this now. Looks good. Wait. Okay, right there. Good. It's gonna work though. It'll work. Yeah, see if you can't go right to the bottom. Does she, when you turn, does she hesitate at all about turning? She is. So you're not worried about hitting the bottom? Well, I guess when you see it coming on you real fast, you might be a little worried about it.
Well, that's part of the grade. If my face looks like a waffle, you know I hit the grade.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's give it a try. She looks like she wants to just do it. What's funny is how they like to push people. They love to push you through the water like this.
During each step, the whale gains speed as she pushed the trainer through the water. Now, Ted's job is simply to stay with her. Not always an easy task.
How was that?
We got to see if you can dive next time.
I got it, though. I think I got it.
You think so? Good.
They practiced and practiced. Then came the final test. If the whale dove all the way to the bottom of the pool, could she keep from crushing the trainer? The result was perfect. A new behavior was achieved through the trust and friendship of man and whale.
Black and white, simple and bright, the colors of a friend of ours against a blue-green sea. Black and white is the power, strength, and might. A never-ending mystery is he. He may not be a rainbow, but we're mighty glad we
As you think back on your day at SeaWorld, you'll realize there's a lot to remember, because something special happens at each place you visit.
This is SeaWorld, SeaWorld, and SeaWorld, what a lovely day. What a wonderful, fabulous, whale of a lovely day. Beach blanket ski party. Beach blanket ski party. Beach blanket ski party.
Oh, we'll be rocking and rolling and having fun at a
Ski party 61. There'll be songs to sing before the day is done. And a ski party 61. Oh, oh yeah. Now hold on tight. Oh, oh yeah. On water skis we're quite a sight. Quite a sight. Beach blanket, rubber-dub-a-ding-dong. Bop-shoo-wop-shoo-wop. Beach blanket ski party. Beach blanket ski party. Beach blanket ski party. Bebop and bam-bingle. Beach blanket ski
When I take the time and look around, there's a world of beauty waiting to be found. When I take the time, I see mysteries alive, miracles surviving on the land and in the sea. When I take the time. There are sights and sounds beyond imagination, and colors made to fill an artist's dream. I can always look to life's creations, knowing I will find there is harmony, peace of mind, and wondrous places waiting to be seen. When I take the time, there's so much more. Life is full of new surprises to explore, perfect by design. I find wonder without end, time and time again, for me to see, for me to feel. When I take the time, if I take the time, when I take the
In the summer of 1985, an important zoological event occurred at SeaWorld's Shamu Stadium. One of the killer whales was pregnant and would soon deliver her first calf. Killer whales had been born in other oceanariums in the past, but no calf had ever survived longer than a few weeks. So to help the calf's chances for survival, SeaWorld's animal curators used training techniques to teach the expectant mother how to nurse. On September 26th, SeaWorld's first killer whale calf was born. Mother and calf were nursing. The successful raising of baby Shamu has provided science with important data on killer whales, and it's given us a very special new friend.
The animals of the sea are different as can be, and each a mystery in every way. If we start to learn, you'll agree we can all become a family. And we hope that you've made new friends with us
As you've seen, SeaWorld is always growing, always changing. That is, except in one very important way. We'll always want to make your memories with us the best that they can be. So that's why we hope you'll come and visit us again and share even more memories and make new friends.